Congratulations! You're terminated. The words dripped from his mouth like spoiled wine. He leaned back in his leather chair, smug, savoring every syllable. His father-in-law's company logo glowed on the wall behind him, as if mocking me. He twirled my access badge between his fingers like a trophy. The CO's son-in-law. The man my ex-wife left me for. The man who thought corporate bloodlines made him untouchable. I stood there, calm. No begging, no anger, just a faint smile. I slid my badge across the desk. "You have exactly 10 minutes before the system fails," I said softly. "Say hi from me to your father-in-law and wish him luck." The panic in his eyes was priceless. I met her in the company cafeteria. She laughed at my bad jokes, pushed me to chase promotions I never thought I could earn. For years, she was my anchor, my reason for late nights and 60-hour weeks. I trusted her. I built her dreams. And when her father suggested I join his company, it felt like destiny. I believed I was chosen for my talent. I didn't see I was just a stepping stone. The first crack appeared the night she came home smelling like cologne I didn't wear. She said it was from a client dinner. I wanted to believe her, so I did. But then came the late-night texts she hid, the sudden trips that matched his travel schedule, the way her eyes shifted when I entered a room. Denial carried me for months, until the denial broke. One night, I traced the phone number. His. Her father's golden boy. I didn't explode. I didn't scream. I watched. I learned. I waited. At board dinners, I saw them exchange glances under the table. At conferences, they disappeared during breaks. They thought they were clever, but their arrogance was a gift. When the divorce papers landed on my desk, she looked relieved, as though she'd finally cast off dead weight. I signed them in silence, playing the fool. She got the house, she got the car, she got him. But I kept what mattered: access, knowledge, the system no one else understood. They underestimated me. That was their first mistake. I stopped being a husband. I stopped being an employee. I became an architect of consequences. Every night, I studied the infrastructure I had built for the company, their supply chains, their contracts, their digital lifelines. I didn't create chaos. I created dependence. And I made sure I was the only one who could hold it all together. Quietly, I documented every corner they cut, every shady deal, every compliance breach hidden under polished presentations. I stored evidence where they'd never find it. I wasn't going to burn the company. That would be too easy. I was going to make them choke on the very systems they mocked me for managing. The board had no idea that while I wore their badge, I had already built my exit plan. I lined up a competitor who'd kill for the insights I carried. I drafted resignation letters for the engineers I mentored, loyal people who knew the truth about who really kept the company alive. When the divorce finalized, I smiled through the settlement hearings. Every asset they stripped from me only tightened the coil of what was coming. Then came the meeting. The son-in-law's promotion to chief operating officer. My termination. His chance to prove he could finally step out of his father-in-law's shadow. He thought the humiliation was mine. He had no idea. I stood in that office, his smug grin sharpening as he shoved the badge back across the desk. "You're done here," he sneered. "Security will walk you out." I met his eyes. Calm, steady, unmoved. "You have exactly 10 minutes before the system fails," I said. His laugh cracked, unsure. "What?" I leaned closer. 10 minutes before the servers crash, before every compliance file is flagged, before every partner realizes shipments won't move without me. You wanted my badge? You've got it. But you don't have me. And without me, you don't have a company. His smirk faltered. Beads of sweat formed at his temple. He grabbed his phone, barking orders into it, demanding IT secure the system. But IT would find nothing. I hadn't planted a virus. I hadn't hacked a thing. I simply pulled the threads only I knew existed. One missing key, one overlooked protocol, one silent lock, and the machine grinds to dust. His voice rose in panic, his face drained of color. He realized too late, this wasn't sabotage. This was design. I walked out past security without a word. No one stopped me. Why would they? I wasn't a threat, just a terminated employee. Behind me, alarms began to sound. Phones rang. Executives scrambled. I didn't look back. By the time the press releases hit, I was already in a new office across town, shaking hands with people who valued competence over bloodlines. The son-in-law never recovered. His father-in-law's empire buckled under the weight of its own arrogance. She, the woman who thought she traded up, learned quickly what it meant to build a life on sand. As for me, I wasn't bitter. I wasn't broken. I was free. They thought they ended me, but all they did was release me with the detonator already pressed, and the explosion was beautiful.